My name is Dr. Okuji Oreh, the ABGA House of Reps candidate for the Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency. I am the last son of late Dr. Oreh and Professor Kate Ikodia Oreh. Incidentally, my father was in the House of Reps between 1979 and 1983, having left the services of the University of Nigeria in Nsukka in the Mass Comm department. My mother went on to retire from the same university as a professor of adult education and community development. I have two older siblings, and I'm married to Chinekwu Oreh, who's a public health expert, and we have 3 children together. I graduated from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka in 1999, obtained a Bachelor's of Accounting. I have an MBA, I have an MSc in Corporate Governance, and a PhD in Economics. I've worked across 3 continents: Asia, Europe, and Africa, spanning approximately 19 years. Treasury management, compliance, audit, upstream commercial negotiations, and shipping. Well, I'm running for the Federal House of Reps, obviously to improve the lot of my constituents, but I'd like to give an overview of who a federal legislator actually is. Ideally, a federal legislator has an oversight budgetary function for the executive. A federal legislator makes laws for the citizens and organizations in a country. A federal legislator makes laws for the operations of government in a country. And very importantly as well, a federal legislator drives development to his or her constituents using constituency projects, which is tailored towards the needs of his people. So having said that, over the years, I have, in a private capacity, rendered services to my clan in the areas of poverty reduction, healthcare provision, and education. But you see, using a private means, to an extent, it's not so sustainable. Now, the platform of governance and policy making will ensure sustainability. And I intend to do that and spread my desire to improve the lot of my people across the 8 clans in my federal constituency. And it's important to know that these 8 clans include Arochukwu, Ututu, Isu, Ihechuawa, Abham in Arochukwu local government. In Ohafia local government, you have Ohafia, you have Nkoro, and you have Abriba. So I intend to reach these 8 clans with a core understanding of what it means to bring the dividends of democracy to my people. In answering this question, I'd like to point first of all that I did a needs assessment, and the findings showed that we have several cross-cutting issues, and of course some clan-specific problems. Now, the cross-cutting issues include infrastructural development, women and youth empowerment, poverty reduction, environmental and erosion control, social services, which is split into health and educational needs. And then the clan-specific problems includes the perennial flooding of Nkoro people in Ohafia LGA, the Agboji-Nkwebi boundary disputes, the Biase-Isu perennial disputes. And so these areas have informed the alignment of my plans for the people. Having done the needs assessment, I aligned my findings with some sustainable development goals to develop my manifesto. Specifically, you have SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Now, SDG 1 focuses on poverty reduction. SDG 2 focuses on agricultural development. 3 on health. 4 on education. 5 on gender equality. 9 on infrastructural development. Well, in solving this problem, I like to walk from the known to the unknown. We come from a merchant society, and in local parlance, we understand the Wantozo system, which is understood to be the apprenticeship system, which is a subset of a capital accumulation process. Now, I like to strengthen that system, which our people, particularly in the Abriba clan, have come to perfect over the years. But I guess something went wrong, and you'd find out there are moribund industries today. There are sometimes industries that are not doing so well because that system wasn't strengthened. So I like to strengthen that system and ensure that we can have institutional memory transferred to the younger generation. Secondly, research has shown that women are actually the drivers of the micro and small scale businesses. And the challenge they've had over the years is in sourcing for credits or for capital. So I intend to ensure that they have funding, access to small scale funding that will enable them to expand their businesses or to continue their businesses unhindered and unhampered. In solving the problems of agriculture in our region, our people are mostly farmers, but they have been largely subsistent farmers. Now, they have been subsistent because in the value chain, there's input, production, collection, processing, and retail. Now, there's a gap between production and retail. We've done fairly well in the area of inputs, fairly. We've tried in the area of production. A lot of able-bodied people are farmers, but we don't have a common collection center. We don't have a processing zone, and our retailing has been, like as I said, mostly at the subsistent level. Now, what I want to ensure is that we move beyond subsistent farming to actually commercial farmers. We will have aggregation centers, we will have production zones, and then we will have offtake arrangements with companies, with nations, with entities that will take our products off the market. This will then ensure that our people will become productive and profitable farmers. Recall that I had mentioned that my manifesto is aligned with the SDGs. SDG 3, Target 8, which is on universal health coverage, talks about having health for all without going into poverty. Section 11 of the National Health Act 2014 states that 1% of the Consolidated Revenue Fund should go to the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, which is a catalytic fund for improving access to health in the nation. Now, hitherto they've had problems in disbursing these funds. I intend to look into it to ensure that these problems are resolved. Secondly, the National Health Insurance Act, which was recently passed in 2022, states that health insurance is mandatory for all. I intend to use our development unions, our age grades, to bring in our people to ensure that they have health coverage, which is very important for them. We want to ensure that vessels have more mortuaries. We want to have more functional primary health care centers and health facilities across our federal constituency. For education, my parents were beneficiaries of a scholarship scheme. My father studied abroad because our community provided a scholarship for him. My mother was a beneficiary of a federal government scholarship scheme. In my capacity as a federal legislator, I want to ensure that I provide scholarship for our people. If my parents were not educated, I doubt I would have had the privilege that I had or that I have had in going through various institutions up until getting a PhD in economics. I also understand that a bill has been passed in the 9th Assembly to guarantee loans for undergraduates to further their education. I'm praying that this bill will be accepted by the President, and I will also want to ensure that my people are pulled in to access these loans. Having been brought up by a woman, and I think we all turned out well, my siblings and I want to ensure that women have the opportunity to excel, and so that they can also bring up strong children, responsible children, who will be useful to the society. Now, my high value for women also pushed me to set up a foundation for my wife, the Healthy African Girl, which empowers the girl child to take charge of her future and maximize her potential. I understand that there were gender inclusion bills that were rejected on the floor of the 9th Assembly. My plan would be to review, to ensure that these bills are represented and hopefully passed. I also intend to set up a data bank in my federal constituency to track how women participate at all levels in the federal constituency, either by appointments, employment, in business, to ensure that they are adequately represented across the length and breadth of the federal constituency. Well, we have needs that borders on roads, and we're going to leverage on an executive order, I think it's Order 5, passed in 2019 by the President, which is valid for 10 years, which is on a road infrastructure tax credit, which makes some roads eligible, where private companies can use their future tax or tax burdens to do roads which will be approved. There's a committee that's set up by the federal government, which comprises of the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Works, etc., to identify roads that are eligible. And these roads will be done using the tax credit scheme. So I want to leverage on that to see how to push some of the roads that we have in our federal constituency to be eligible. Now, with regards to other infrastructural needs, I will ensure that whatever projects that we will face infrastructure-wise will capture the proper needs of the people. I understand there are problems of water, problems of power. We will ensure that we tackle these problems frontally. I will be accountable in the sense that I want to develop clear mechanisms for monitoring and evaluation. One, recall I mentioned we'll have a data bank. That data bank, in addition to having the data of the people in our federal constituency, we're also going to be monitoring our promises, the promises we've made in the course of our campaigns. We will see what achievements we have made. We will see what still needs to be done. And we will see how to ensure that whatever issues that present themselves will be dealt with. Now, this will be done by having town hall meetings with the people, which will be on a regular basis. The reason for ABGA is we need to form a regional force, and ABGA provides that platform. Being a largely Igbo party, we need to have a strong negotiating power at the center. And as they often say in Igbo land, Igwebike, if we can get the entire Southeast to be Abga dominated, we'll have a higher or a stronger voice at the center. Secondly, for the purposes of homeland development, it's important that we develop a cohesive force among the 5 eastern states to ensure that we can come together, speak with one voice, have a development plan for our people, and advance our cause as Igbo people. Abga is a party to go with. So my core mandate really is to repair and restore the lost glory of our federal constituency, to clean the tears of the people's faces, to put a smile and laughter on the faces of people, to ensure that things improve, to respect women, take care of children, to ensure that our children have a future. My final words will go to the people of my federal constituency, to the Arochukwu man, to the Ututu man, the Isu person, the Ihechiowa person, the Abham person, and the Arochukwu local government area, to the Ohafia person, the Mporo person, and the Abriba person. Let us shun clannish sentiments. Let us vote for competence. Let's vote for character. Let's vote for people who can deliver on the job. I also want to admonish the people not to be afraid, shun apathy of any kind when it comes to voting. Come out and vote. The Electoral Act protects your votes. Come out, vote wisely. As I mentioned earlier, vote Abga. Think about the regional integration we can have as a people, as Igbo people. Vote Abga. Vote your conscience. Take charge of your future. Perform your civic responsibility. Remember, our future is at stake. Character, competence, capacity. These 3 C's you must have at the back of your mind. Think about a servant leader. We are Christians, mostly from our federal constituency. And even those from other faiths, we understand what it means to serve, not to be a demigod, but to serve the people. Let us join hands and make our federal constituency a better place. Vote Abga. APGA Abga. As we say in Igbo, Onya Halanwanea, be your brother's keeper. Do it right this time. God bless you.